what are, let's say, three teams that the United States should hope and pray that they do not land?
Yeah, Caroline, that's a great question. And a reminder to everybody, like I said, right? The US, alongside Mexico and Canada, are in pot one. And that means that they're very lucky that in a group stage, they won't face a Spain and Lamine Yamal. They won't face an Argentina and Messi. They won't face France and Kylian Mbappe or England. So, that's a good thing. However, to your point, in pot two, there's no slackers here. There's some very good teams, as well as group 3 and 4. So when I look at pot two, I don't think the US wants anything to do with Morocco, who became the first Arab and African nation to reach a semi-final in the World Cup back in Qatar in 2022. This is a very good team who have won 18 straight matches in all competitions. That's a record in international soccer. So that's one of them in pot two. The other one, I think, Colombia. Colombia are a very good team. And a reminder, everybody, because the World Cup is in the United States, right? I think every team has an argument to say that they're the home team. And Colombia, absolutely. Because let me tell you, let's say the US plays Colombia, somewhere in the US. You think that the US fan base is going to overwhelm the Colombian one? No, I don't think so. So, you have to really pay attention to the fact that there's going to be a tremendous amount of support for all these teams. The other one is Norway as well, by the way, which is in pot three. Oh, they're in pot three, but they won every single game in qualifiers to get to the World Cup. They have Erling Haaland, the Manchester City striker, who is basically a combination of Otani and Giannis, all in one as a soccer player. This is one of the best strikers in the game, and it's Norway in pot three, so they don't want to face them as well. And then in pot four, there might be some European teams as well, like Italy, for example, but also Ghana, a very strong African team and a foe of the USMNT because they faced them each other in the past. So even though the US won't play your Spains or your Argentinas in the group stages, there's still a lot of really difficult teams to face. I don't want them to see Morocco at all. I mentioned Norway, Ghana, but there's plenty more competitors, everybody. The USMNT are looking good, but it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens. And by the way, final note, right before the World Cup begins, they have just announced some friendlies, some warm-up games for the USMNT, and they're playing Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal, they're playing Germany. These are good teams, Belgium, good teams that are going to test the United States right before the World Cup.